Dearly beloved, you are welcomed to this week's session of our intellectual and faith journey. In the next couple of weeks, we will be talking about Holy Mass, which, in its simplest definition, is the sacrifice of the body and blood of Jesus Christ in the form of bread and wine. Furthermore, we cannot talk about Holy Mass without talking about the priest who celebrates it. Before I entered the seminary, I'd always wondered why Catholic priests dress the way they do at Mass. Whether it's hot or it's cold, they still dress the same. I tried to find out but never got any satisfactory answer. Anyway, I believed that someday my curiosity will be answered. So, when I started my first year as a prospective seminarian in Bishop Rogan Minor Seminary in Boya, southwest region of Cameroon, one of the priests who taught there advised us in class, saying, "Gentlemen, within these 10 years of your formation, make sure you read the Bible from cover to cover at least twice before you leave the seminary." I took this as a challenge and started reading my Bible with this aim, and in the middle of the second year, I finished reading the first round. I did it again the following year. It was during this reading that I realized how the Catholic Church's practices are deeply rooted in the scriptures and the tradition, with various elements symbolizing something profound in the Christian faith. The biblical reference that I found about the attire of priests is in Exodus chapters 28 and 29. Here the Bible describes the garments for Aaron, the first high priest of Israel. It provides insights into the spiritual and liturgical significance of the vestments worn by Catholic priests today. In Exodus chapter 28, God commands Moses to instruct the Israelites in creating special garments for Aaron and his sons, highlighting the importance of clothing in the role of a priest. These vestments include the breastpiece, an ephod, a robe, a brocaded tunic, a mitre, and a sash, all made of different colors.
Wow.
The high priest attire, specially made, served several purposes. One, it distinguished Aaron from lay people. Two, it signified his sacred duties. And three, it represented various aspects of Israel's relationship with God. Similarly, Catholic priests wear specific vestments such as armies, albs, stoles, and chasubles that serve to set them apart as ministers of the church and as representatives of Christ on earth. These garments embody not merely fashion, but a rich tapestry of symbolism, conveying both the dignity and humility of this ministry before God. The emis, for instance, which is a linen cloth worn on the neck and the shoulders under the alb, symbolizes the helmet of salvation.
The priest throws the armies over his shoulders and ties it on his chest.
The Bible describes it as having a pair of straps joined to its two upper ends. Compare Exodus chapter 28, verse 7. The alb symbolizes purity, reminding both the priest and the congregation of their call to holiness.
The alb is worn over the armies and symbolizes the purity of Christ.
There is also what we call the cincture, which is a belt or a rope used to tie the alb at the waist. It symbolizes priestly chastity.
This is what the cincture looks like. It is used to tie the alb.
The stole, often considered the centerpiece of the priest's vestments, represents the authority given to him by Christ to minister to his people.
The stole symbolizes the yoke of Christ as priest administer sacraments.
And finally, the chasuble, which covers the priest completely and is likened to a robe of righteousness that God grants his faithful and a symbol of charity.
This is the chasuble, the outer garment worn by priest. It covers the priest completely and represents charity.
By wearing these garments, priests can now enter into the sacred liturgical role, which echoes the ancient traditions outlined in Exodus chapters 28 and 29.
And so in procession you see something like this in the case of bishops, and in the case of priests a similar procession.
God also commanded that this practice is to be a law for all who approach his holy altar as priests to minister in the sanctuary. Compare Exodus chapter 28 verse 43. This is why Jesus said, "Do not think that I have come to abolish the law and the prophets. I have come not to abolish but to fulfill them." Matthew 5 verse 17. In the case of bishops, we see them with additional sacred items like the mitre and the crosier. A mitre is a tall headdress worn by the bishops and senior abbots as a symbol of office. This is as God commanded Moses, saying, "Put the mitre on Aaron's head." Exodus chapter 29 verse 6.
Mitre.
The crosier, a hooked staff carried by a bishop as a symbol of pastoral office in his diocese or particular church.
Crosier.
Aaron's staff played an important part in God's plan to defeat the power of evil and lead the Israelites out of Egypt into the promised land. Compare Exodus chapter 7. In the same way, the bishop's crosier represents God's power over evil and his leadership of God's people to heaven, our final destination. Finally, we conclude by saying that the priestly garments described in Exodus chapter 28 and 29 have shaped the Catholic practice of vestments with their various symbolisms of purity, authority, charity, and humility. As the priest adorns himself in these sacred vestments, he fulfills his role as a mediator between God and his people. Together, these practices echo the ancient roots of our faith while continuing to convey their significance in our present day worship. Through such symbolisms, the Catholic liturgy remains a rich and profound expression of faith, inviting all to encounter the holiness of God. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to follow us and to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Thanks, and God bless you.